So when the history of cable news is written, assuming anyone bothers to write it, but if it ever is written, Glenn Beck will have his own chapter as possibly the greatest synthesizer of big ideas ever to appear on camera. And a lot of people made fun of Glenn Beck over the years for that, but if you go back and watch the tape, you will find out that maybe more than any other person on television, Glenn Beck got it right. Again and again and again. So we thought tonight is the perfect opportunity to hear from him. He's the co-founder of Blaze Media. He's just written a book called The Great Reset, and he joins us now for an overview of what we're watching. Glenn Beck, thank you so much for coming on tonight. How
thank you.
Would you
very
interpret
kind of you
this?
To say.
Well, it's true.
So let me, I've got a couple of things here for you. Let me just go through. I'm going to bring I think, a different perspective to this. We have the banking crisis. They say it's fine. It's just beginning. Yesterday, we had the Saudis and Brazil and China enter a deal to where the petrodollar is over. Brazil and China are going to trade in their own currency. That's the beginning of the end of our currency. That means a dollar collapse. That means we become Venezuela. We will have war with China. We will have war with Russia and Iran. We have the restrict bill. We have social media and our NSA and everybody else in bed with each other, silencing people. We, of course, have the raccoon dogs, which we all know is bullcrap. And now this week we have a new gun grab that they're trying to do. Biden and his family taking money from the Chinese. What do you think this Donald Trump thing is really all about? The America that we knew, the fundamental transformation that started in 2008, is finished. We are no longer viewed as a superpower. We are now an elderly, we're Joe Biden just walking into the twilight. What this is all about, I believe, is trying to inflame this country. They've wanted violence from the right from the beginning. They can't wait it. They need it. Because if we strike out, look at January 6th, the day they're letting the shaman out of prison because it was all trumped up. Thank you, Tucker Carlson, for revealing this. The day they're letting him out, they do this to Donald Trump. They want you to strike out. Why? Because then they can close the cage. I'm going to make another prediction for you, Tucker. You said I got it right. Well, everything I've been talking about since 2008, this is the time. I'm going to make a prediction. By 2025, we are going to be at war. We are going to have a new dollar, a currency that probably is coming from the central bank. We'll have a currency collapse, and we will live in a virtual police state. I know that might sound crazy to a lot of people. It's not far off. The Bill of Rights is gone. Nobody is paying attention. Where are the Republicans? Where are the decent Democrats that can see this is insanity? Donald Trump, the reason why this is going to help Donald Trump, and that's why I don't think they're doing it so he can't run. They're doing it because they want people to strike out. Please turn to God, repent, pray for our country, pray for peace. Put on the full armor of God. But here's what they miss. Donald Trump is not even a person anymore. He is a symbol. He is a symbol of the average, everyday guy that keeps getting screwed every single time. Watches other people screw up big banks, screw up their companies, and get away with it. They see people all the time doing stuff that they know if they did, they'd be in prison for 20 years. But because they're not part of the elite, they get away with it. Donald Trump has taken arrow after arrow, and that's why this is the way the average American feels tonight.
Yeah.
I hope that there's a few Democrats out there, but this guy has been taking the bullets for the average person now for years. And people on the right feel like he's the only guy that really gets what the people are feeling, and it's not gonna end well for the Democrats in the next election. It's just not. I don't know if Donald Trump is the winner or not, but I will tell you this: you're not going to stop 100 million people. This country is in shambles. And there's going to be 100 million people that will walk on broken glass and through fire to vote for someone other than this corrupt banana republic administration.
That's, I think, exactly right. Glenn Beck, wow.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious that Glenn Beck speaks for all of us, 100 million Americans who don't want their country to fall to Marxism. What will we do now? This is clearly a moment where there is going to be an antibody reaction because this isn't a communist state. They want it to be, but this isn't a Marxist totalitarian state. You can't just make up charges and then go after your political opponent and try and put him in jail. And that's what they want. They want to put Donald Trump in jail. The end result here is they wish for Donald Trump to go to prison so that he presumably cannot run for president in 2024. That is how much they loathe Trump. That is how much they loathe our country. This is a scary moment. This is a dangerous moment. And this sets a very, very dangerous precedent. What happens next is going to determine the future of this nation. It's not going to be pretty. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that if you make this the standard, that you just create the charge when you want to put the man in jail, as the person who ran Stalin's gulags did, Levante Berra, well, then there's no end to it. There are a lot of Republican attorney generals. There are a lot of Republican district attorneys all throughout the state. And this country is a lot more red than it is blue. And so what are you going to create here? Well, you're going to create a civil war. You're going to create a country where it's the side that is willing to be the most ruthless and brutal that ends up winning. I suppose that's called a culture war. Now, many people are saying that that must happen, actually, because if it doesn't happen, if we don't begin to put Hillary Clinton, Chelsea Clinton, Hunter Biden, Beau Biden's widow, Natalie Biden, the Bidens in jail, if we don't begin to put the Obamas in jail for their crimes, well, then what's to stop them? Where's the deterrence? This is called assured destruction. And it is a very tried and true method of making sure that people do not use the nuclear option. And this is the nuclear option for the left. The nuclear option for the left is we put Donald Trump in prison because we don't want him to be president again. That's how bad we hate him. And so we must do the same thing to their candidates, chosen candidates. It's time to indict the next Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, Gavin Newsom, so on and so forth. Just go down the line. Show me the man, I'll show you the crime. Is that the kind of country you want to live in? It's the country that the left has created. You can hearken back to 2015 when Harry Reid decided to get rid of the filibuster. This seems like a pretty mundane, nerdy thing, but what it did was getting rid of the filibuster for judicial nominees. It meant that you could essentially nominate anyone to the judiciary on just sort of a simple majority vote. Harry Reid thought that'd be great for the current time, and then what ended up happening is Donald Trump was able to ram 3 justices directly onto the court. Bingo, bango, bongo. The consequences of my actions are now here to stare me in the face. And this is what the left is looking down the barrel of right now. The consequences of their actions are pretty predictable here. Republican AGs and Republican district attorneys are going to start indicting Democrats and to start locking up the Bidens and the Clintons and the Obamas and George W. Bush, for all I care. You can have them. War crimes and all. Lying to the American people, weapons of mass destruction and so on. Killing of 5,000 American soldiers and hundreds of thousands of innocents in the Mideast. So, yeah, listen, that's the world that's being created. And the only way it's going to stop is if there is mutually assured destruction. Pretty obvious. Glenn Beck putting on that MAGA hat. That's the whole country right now. It's your boy Benny. See ya. Thank you for watching. Our channel is here to meme the libs until they cry and then to meme them crying. Their tears, they taste just like sweet, delicious ice cream. Salty, too. We ridicule the establishment and the libs because of you. Your support keeps us going. So if you like what you saw, please punch the subscribe button, click like, and ring the little bell so that you know when we're live. Don't you want to know when we're live? And make sure that you subscribe to our email list just in case the plug gets pulled, as tends to happen. If you want to see more of our videos, click here or here. My name is Benny Johnson. Stay free, base patriots.